Good morning on yet another winery hunt. Today we are visiting 4 different wineries and capturing material for my client Bordeaux Wine Vacations. Look at this driveway. For this property we roughly have 45 minutes because they will have an event starting at 11. It's already 10 o'clock, so we gotta be leaving this place before any event starts. Château Carbonnieux is one of the oldest wine estates in Bordeaux, and it was founded over 700 years ago by the Benedictine monks. The monks were the first to cultivate these vineyards seriously, and by the 18th century their white wine was so clear and so pure it was shipped all the way to Constantinople. We're talking about the land where there's Muslim religion, so the wine had to be disguised as mineral water so it could be served in the Sultan's court. That's how legendary it already was. After the monks, the estate passed through several important families, but one of the longest lasting was the Bouchereau family, who owned it for nearly a century. And boy oh boy, they were not passive landlords. They built one of the most ambitious wine collections in Bordeaux at the time, experimenting with over 1,000 grape varieties and pushing the estate's reputation even further. Fast forward to 1956, when the Perrin family took over and essentially rebuilt Carbonnieux from the ground up, replanting vineyards, restoring cellars, and shaping the modern identity of the estate. Today, Carbonnieux stands among the very few wineries classified Grand Cru Classé de Grave for both red and white wines. So we are now in the museum part of Château Carbonnieux, and I just found out that this place was visited by Thomas Jefferson, and there's a bunch of little hints and clues. Well, they're a little bit more obvious than hints and clues of his visits here. There is a letter that he has left and all sorts of interesting things. And also there's a car collection. Look at this. How good is this? Cars all the way from 1906. That's more than a whole century. Some of these are almost 120 years old. I don't know about you, but for me it is really hard to comprehend that these vehicles were roaming on French roads literally 100 years ago. We also have to understand that cars were not a common thing like it is today. Even when these cars were driving around, horses were still the main mean of transportation, but still, look at these classy vehicles. Nowadays, it's all about safety, it's all about aerodynamics, it's all about being ecological, but man, these cars were stylish. I could spend hours just looking at all of the grills, all of the lights, all of the steering wheels. This is the first time I see something like that in a winery. Okay, very little time left to fly the drone. There's a lot of action already going on. 32. The wineries are very shiny, and what helps to battle that shininess is an ND filter. You pop this little baby on, it blocks a lot of sunlight, making the video much smoother, but it also makes things less shiny. Okay.
Take off. Home point updated.
Need to get out of the trees. Hit the record. You guys should already see what I'm doing. As you've already seen that footage, we are gonna move to our second winery, Château Larrivet. Let's go and find who's in charge. In Château Larrivet Haut-Brion, I got myself a surprise. As it turns out, my friend's wife works in this winery, and just so you know, Bordeaux has several thousands of wineries, and for you to run into somebody that you know in a winery, it's not a common occurrence. So that already was a very happy start. As for winery itself, Château Larrivet was built in 1840, and during its existence, the winery has changed several names. First, this winery was called Château de Canoë, afterwards Larrivet, afterwards Brion Larrivet, a couple of other names, until it finally became Château Larrivet Haut-Brion. Initially, this was a fairly small winery for this region. It only had 17 hectares of wines, and the winery was struggling. Until a turning point where in 1987, the Garvasson family took over. The family basically rebuilt the property from scratch, buying back old parcels, replanting relentlessly, and expanding its vineyards to more than 72 hectares today. That's a massive transformation in just a few decades. And the brilliant part is that the Garvassons run the estate like a family home. It's warm, it's creative and hands-on, not your typical stiff chateau with a dusty legacy. They've also pushed the winemaking in bold directions, using egg-shaped concrete vats for the white wine, artistic cellar designs, and most recently, they've launched Vignoble du Futur, the future vineyard. It's a long-term project which aim is to replant and redesign the vineyard so it can handle the climate change while preserving the estate's identity. 12 hectares have already been replanted with new spacing, new rootstocks, and new techniques aimed for the next 50 years, not just for the next vintage. This is a truly special winery, and I could not have enough of their massive cellar with endless rows of oak barrels, clay amphors, and those egg-shaped concrete vats. They are absolutely gorgeous. Second winery done. We are on our way to the third winery. We are half an hour behind the schedule. I did call the other winery and they were fine with me coming a little bit later. The problem is that we have another visit afterwards, which is impossible for me to make on time because I'm pretty much gonna be arriving to the third winery at the time when I need to be at the fourth winery. A lot of logistics, a lot of backwards and forwards calls. But sometimes when you're trying to capture a lot of things in the same day, this is how it goes. It's quite chaotic. It involves a lot of calling and saying, sorry, I'm gonna be late. Can we do this a little bit later? If we cannot, can I still do only the outside photos, outside videos, so we have at least some of the material? Just make it work, you know? That's part of any business. Sometimes there are impossible schedules to meet. Not that it's difficult to film 4 wineries at the same day. It's the timing when each winery is available to take you in what makes things difficult. It is what it is. We're gonna make it happen. I'm excited for capturing all these wineries. It's going really well. I'm very happy with how these first 2 shots went. I am stuck behind a big truck. Let's go. It's a beautiful day here in Bordeaux. There's not a lot of sunny days left. Look at this view. Yeah, it doesn't ever really look the same on the camera, but check out the roads that Waze was taking us through on our way to our third destination. This time we are in the sweet wine region, Sauternes. And as we're finding our way through the vineyards, this is where I'm gonna say thank you for watching. Write in the comments which winery did you like the most, and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the second part of this video. I appreciate you watching and see you on the next one.